working class wife. She will give you all the benefits that you will get from a stay-at-home wife. It's an unrealistic expectation. It's an unrealistic expectation because you cannot eat your cake and have it. Part of the hours, maybe 8 hours, that's the minimum. Some people's work hours exceed 8 hours. But let's even work with the minimum. So she was away from home 8 hours. The person at home would have achieved a lot within those 8 hours. So you cannot come back and she comes back and you will be expecting that every benefit that the man that left his wife at home and is fully covering the bill is getting. You that went to work and she that went to work with you would produce that kind of result. It's unrealistic. Some people even go to the extent that I don't like frozen food. I like my food cooked fresh. If you want the benefits of a woman fully focused on the home front, then you must be willing to shoulder the economic responsibility of the family. Fully, thank you. If you want the two of you to share the economic responsibilities, then you must know that as you are sharing economic responsibilities, you'll be sharing domestic responsibilities too.
Dr. Seun Olabode is a Bible-believing Christian, a minister of the Word of God, excellent wife, and a mother. Her warm and hospitable lifestyle and down-to-earth teaching of the Word of God has endeared her to the heart of many people around the world. She holds a doctorate degree in agricultural extension and rural development, and currently serves as the executive pastor at the Enthronement House Christian Center, Ikeja, Lagos. She is the convener of His and Hers, a platform aimed at enhancing meaningful relationships. Her passion to raise godly relationships inspired the establishment of the Relationship and Marriage Academy, RAMA. She is the author of several books, which include My Dear Daughter, Loving Like the Bad Girls of the Bible, Helpers.com, Systems of Advantage, Colors of Forgiveness, Attraction Checklist, 7-Star Relationship, Lover's Sabbath, and many more. She is happily and irrevocably married to Reverend Deji Olabode, senior pastor of the Enthronement House Christian Center, a Bible-based, Holy Spirit-empowered, and love-motivated network of churches with its headquarters in Ikeja, Lagos. They are blessed with 3 upwardly mobile children.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Seun Olabode.
And the first session I titled Your Expectations and Your Relational Experiences. Your expectations and your relational experiences. The truth is that there is always an expectation behind every human action. There is always an expectation behind every human action. Sometimes the expectation is consciously pursued. Sometimes it is unconsciously pursued. At times, the expectation might be verbalized. And at other times, they can choose to be silent about it. However, there is always an expectation. For instance, the people that went to school with the expectation that after 4 years or 5 years, depending on the kind of course they are studying, that they would get a certificate. And with that certificate, they will be able to get a job and live better lives. The expectation behind getting an accommodation is to protect yourself and your properties. The expectation behind transporting yourself here rather than trekking is to save yourself time and energy. So whether you are conscious of it or not, there is always an expectation behind every human action. And this is not different when it comes to the subject of relationship and marriage. Everybody goes into emotional relationship or marriage with certain expectations. Some are conscious of it, some are unconscious of it, but everybody goes into relationship and marriage with certain expectations. Behind every broken relationship or marriage is an unmet expectation. no matter the reason you give, it's eventually going to boil down to an expectation that wasn't being met. Oh, he cheated on me. That means you had an expectation of fidelity. Oh, he wasn't responsible. He wasn't taking care of me and my children. That means you had the expectation of a generous spouse. Whatever the reason might be. Oh, she's too dirty. She doesn't know how to take care of the house. That means you had an expectation of an hygienic spouse. Every breakdown in marriage or relationship can still be traced down to an unmet expectation. The funny thing about this, when I was preparing this message, is that I discovered that expectation in itself is a two-edged sword. And the side of it you are holding will determine what your relational experiences would be. When I checked the definition of expectation in itself, expectation was defined as a strong belief that something would happen or that something would be the case. Expectation was further defined as an act or a state of looking forward to something or anticipating something. But my own question, which will be the question that will be the basis of our discourse today, is that, oh, you have a belief that something would happen. You are expecting something. You are anticipating something. On what basis or on what premise are you expecting what you are expecting? What is the basis or the premise of your expectation? Oh, I want to marry a rich man so that I can enjoy life and he will take care of me. Who told you that wealth is synonymous to generosity? That expectation has no basis. Oh, I want to marry her because her mother gave birth to 11 children. She will be fertile. On which premise? On which basis? And that is the problem of many people. They end up being disappointed because their reality doesn't match up with their expectations. They now accuse their spouse of disappointing them. The truth is that nobody disappointed you. Your unfounded expectation was what disappointed you. You were expecting too much from that particular person. Your expectations were unfounded. It has no basis. It has no premise. And true to what I suspected, when I checked the definition of expectation, it just said a strong belief that something would happen. And I was thinking on what basis or on what premise. But because the dictionary could not answer me, I had to look at the synonyms of the word expectation to see whether I would get the answer I seek from it. And when I looked at it, the synonyms I saw were very interesting. One was supposition, a belief held without a proof. That's the meaning of a supposition. Another one was assumption, a thing that is accepted as true without a proof. Oh, you accepted that the life of a woman is easy once you can marry a working man. Life will teach you. Another synonym is belief, an acceptance that something exists or is true without a proof. Another one is presupposition, a thing tacitly assumed beforehand. You assume it beforehand. Little wonder many people end their relationship and marriages in disappointment, because most of their expectations are not realistic. Is it wrong to have an expectation? No. You have a right to have an expectation. However, your expectation must have a basis. Your expectation must have a ground. The last synonym I saw that I really loved was projection. And projection was defined as an estimate or a forecast of the future based on the study of the present trend. You are projecting what the future will be based on your study of the present trend. The guy is very rich, but despite his cash, he still go to bend down boutique to pick clothes. Is it you he will buy clothes for in the boutique? You study the trends to make your forecast. And the advantage of something like that is that it will help you put your expectation in perspective. It will help you to make objective expectations of people. Another definition they gave it was a calculated guess about the future based on the information you have. Many people are in relationship. Many people are even married, and you don't know who you are married to. You don't know who you are dating. Because all you have is emotional relationship. You don't have friendship. Many people are in relationship, but they are not friends. What brought them together is the gish. I saw the lady, she had a 46, 26, and 34. The future is good, and the yesterday is not bad. Then I met the guy. He belongs to the beard gang. Flat chest. Well-toned muscles. He even drives a car. He works in one of these IT companies and he earns in 6 digits. That is all that attracted you to yourselves. Oh, actually we met on the social media. On Facebook. He was saying the right things. And I just felt that the two of us can just, the guy has teas. And you build expectation on what you know little or nothing about. And that is where major disappointments come from. And I'm going to quickly run through some unrealistic expectations people have that you need to change in your mindset if you would have a good relationship or marriage experience. Married people have it, singles have it, hoping that when they marry, that is what they are supposed to be experiencing. But they are unrealistic. And if you hold on to such expectations, you will end up being disappointed. The first one is the unrealistic expectation of people that have the mentality that our relationship or marriage will automatically work out because we love ourselves. Our relationship or marriage will automatically work out because we love ourselves. You know, that kind of mentality is like believing that a manual vehicle will automatically pick up speed or reduce speed because it has a brake or an acceleration system. Marriages doesn't work out in a vacuum. Marriages work out because people work it. Fine, your marriage might be made in heaven, but it will be sustained here on earth with hard work. If you don't work it, it won't work for you. And you have to make up your mind anytime you are thinking of settling down into a serious relationship, or if you're already married, that I will put in my quota to make this thing work. I will practice the principles that makes for good marriage, like mutual respect, like good communication, like matured conflict resolution approach. Otherwise, that expectation of your marriage working will not see the light of the day. Another wrong expectation is this belief that once in love, always in love. Once in love, always in love. Believe you me, love is not a once and for all experience. Love is a once and again experience. Love in itself is an exhaustible energy. And if you want love to keep existing in your relationship or marriage, you need to keep fanning the fire of love to flame. How do you fan the fire of love to flame? You continue to do your first work. And you might be wondering, what do I mean by first work? There was what you were doing that got the person attracted to you originally. What many people do once the person has proposed to them or they've concluded that this person is serious about me or they are legitimately married, they just throw caution in the wind. And many of the things they were doing that made them attractive to the person that chose them, they stopped doing it. Rather than stop doing it, you are supposed to build on it and be much more. Originally, when they met you, you look good, you smell good. Your speech is decent. But now we are married. You smell locust bean, you smell Maggi. Uncle, your singlet is now, it was white. Then when you are going out, the people that don't matter, they are the ones that see the better side of you. And the person that matters, you don't send. You know, my husband said something one day, and it got me thinking. Especially now that we are in the wig generation. You know, once we get home, even in the car, you just remove the wig, you throw it somewhere. Then your 2-week or 3-week-old shuku are all back. That you've not even remembered to cream and brush. It's what Uncle is seeing at home. But when you are going out, the makeup comes in, the cologne comes in, then the wig comes in. You are building outside impression, and you are depleting the love tank at the home front. And when you deplete your love account, the day you want to withdraw from it, your check will bounce. The reason why there is always an attraction between a metal and a magnet is because there is a constant magnetic field. If you don't sustain the magnetic field of your love for one another, a time will come when you will be wondering, but I thought we used to love ourselves. Another wrong expectation or mentality is that my spouse cannot cheat on me because he's a believer. Hey, somebody said they play. No, I heard somebody say it. If you are on that lane, you are setting up yourself for a very rude shock. It is not the church or mosque they attend that would determine whether they cheat on you or not. It is their own values regarding fidelity, their character, their level of integrity that would insist that they do not misbehave, whether you are there or not. That is one. Then secondly, you too will now make it easy for them by meeting their needs at the home front. Because no matter how much integrity someone has, when the person is deprived of the basic things they need to enjoy life with, they are vulnerable to temptations out there. The Bible said that to the hungry soul, every bitter thing is sweet. That's why you'll be wondering that, then say, oh, God give us girl or chef belle. Now this was what girl? It's not about the girl. It's about the deprivation. It's about the deprivation. So when you are looking for people, you are looking for people with character. Proven character, not I'm not that kind of person. Even if they give a madman, he will still weed to his own side. Nobody will say I'm that kind of person when it comes to fornication and adultery. You want to see people with proven character, integrity when it comes to that side. Then you will not open your door for the enemy to come in by meeting the appropriate needs you are supposed to meet at the home front. Another wrong expectation or mentality is that our marriage can never end in divorce because I prayed and was led by God to the choice. Because it was God's choice for me, it can never end in divorce. See, God's approval of a union doesn't make it infallible. It is our commitment to doing the right things that makes our union infallible. And when I said our commitment, I used our because it takes two. If one person is committed and the other person is not committed, it will not work. The two people involved must be committed. And that is when it will work. Another wrong expectation or erroneous expectation is the mentality that my spouse will always endure my excesses because he or she is a believer. I can misbehave. I can do anything I want to do. He's a Christian. He knows that he should not beat me. Even if I starve him of sex, he knows that he should not cheat. And you know many people do it. That because he's a believer, I can misbehave. I understand that patience is the fruit of the Spirit. However, every human being has an elastic limit, including Jesus. There was a part of the scripture where the Bible recorded that Jesus lost it and he took bankere and Jesus was flogging people. If Jesus that was born by the Spirit can lose it, you that only the fruit of the Spirit is what you are carrying, is it you that you will not lose it? If the person that was born of the Spirit lost it, it's not even everybody that has the fruit. So my advice is, do not tempt the Lord your God. Don't assume that somebody cannot do something because they are believers. Our individual elastic limit varies. If your daddy does that at home and your mother does not talk, and you think you can do that to your wife and she will not talk, don't forget that they don't belong to the same generation. No. Thank you. And the same thing for the woman. If your mother does that at home and your daddy keeps quiet, don't forget that you didn't marry your father, or you are not going to get married to your father. So the fact that your mommy can do it with your dad and jello, you might do it with your husband and collect auto reset. I hope somebody is understanding me. Another erroneous assumption or expectation is that the woman should always submit in marriage, even when the man is persistently unreasonable. That the woman should always submit, even when the man is persistently, and I use the word persistent because there's no perfect man. There's no perfect woman either. So once in a while, our husbands can make an erroneous call, but it should be once in a while. It should not be a pattern. It should not be a lifestyle. But when the man is persistently unreasonable and you are expecting the wife to submit, it's like expecting cars to continually line up behind a faulty truck in their front. As born again, who is the most born again here now? I don't know. So if you are, okay, somebody is waving her hands. Thank God you can drive. As born again as you are, if the vehicle in front of you develops a fault, would you keep standing behind it? That is what many people are saying when they are saying that if the man is unreasonable, you should keep submitting. It doesn't work that way. If you want the woman to keep being submitted to you, then your decisions as the head of the family should be well thought out. And that decision should factor the interest of every member of the family. It should not be a selfish decision. That is when they would willingly submit to you. Otherwise, they would just be making unilateral decisions. Like Abigail made when her husband, neighbor, started messing up. She just started making unilateral decisions. Another unrealistic expectation is that the working wife who contributes to the home front economy, the working wife, should give you all the benefits that is obtainable with a stay-at-home mom. A working class wife should give you all the benefits that you will get from a stay-at-home wife. It's an unrealistic expectation. It's an unrealistic expectation because you cannot eat your cake and have it. Part of the hours, maybe 8 hours, that's the minimum. Some people's work hours exceed 8 hours. But let's even work with the minimum. So, she was away from home 8 hours. The person at home would have achieved a lot within those 8 hours. So you cannot come back, and she comes back, and you will be expecting that every benefit that the man that left his wife at home and is fully covering the bill is getting. You that went to work and she that went to work with you would produce that kind of result. It's unrealistic. It's unrealistic. Some people even go to the extent that I don't like frozen food. I like my food cooked fresh. Fresh. Somebody said they be my pa. I like my food cooked fresh. See, if you want the benefits of a if you want the benefits of a woman fully focused on the home front, then you must be willing to shoulder the economic responsibility of the family. Fully, thank you. If you want the two of you to share the economic responsibilities, then you must know that as you are sharing economic responsibilities, you'll be sharing domestic responsibilities too. You'll be sharing domestic responsibilities too. Otherwise, there will be problem. Because if you come home at 6 and she gets home at 6, and you expect her to work from 6 to God knows when, and she's tired, you now get to the other room, like one of our people said it. I didn't mention anybody. You are now expecting her to perform. You are on your own. The kind of way she go carry look yourself. Another unrealistic expectation is that the man should be absolutely responsible for the family finance. It is not, let me create the caveat. It is not impossible if he can conveniently afford it and he doesn't mind. There are some people that can conveniently afford it. God has blessed them to that level and they don't mind. However, with the state of the country, you will know that such men are not many. So, in the marriage, we support ourselves. The man might be carrying 80% financial responsibilities and the woman carrying 20%. It might be 70-30, but we support ourselves. If you are thinking that the man is going to be the one to carry the total financial responsibility of that home, you will be disappointed. In fact, I want to believe that that unrealistic pressure placed on men is the reason why there are more widows than widowers. The men die more. That's why you see many landladies. That somebody said, many landladies than landlords. Because where they were supposed to share responsibility, they dumped it on one person. Another unrealistic expectation is that you can misbehave because you are a female. The man is supposed to be a gentleman. He's not supposed to beat his woman. He's supposed to be more matured. Or you can misbehave as a male because the society recognizes it. I've heard people come to me for counseling. The man cheated on his wife, not once, not twice. People come to my table, and I will ask them, if we reverse this, I will, God forbid, and you will see the man with aggression saying, God forbid. I say, wait. You just did this. What I'm saying is that, can we reverse? He said, society still relates to a man doing it. What do you mean the society relates to a man doing it? What is sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander. The Bible said, whatsoever you want men to do to you, do likewise. So anything you are not willing to take, don't give it. So don't talk trash and don't misbehave with the intention that it's a man or it's a woman. Then lastly, the expectation that love means you must meet all my desires, my needs, and my wants. All my desires, my needs, and my wants. And this is not talking only about money. When I'm sad, you make me happy. When I'm quiet, you must know what I'm thinking. See, your spouse is not El Shaddai, else they shall die. There are some things in your life that only God can meet those aspects. There are some other things in your life that you personally will take responsibility for that aspect. Then there are some other parts that your husband or your wife will contribute into. They are called helpers. They are not called carriers. They are not supposed to carry the whole thing. They are supposed to help. And in my culture, they will say it is the owner of the load that carries the heavier part of it. So the person helping you is not supposed to carry the heavy part. They are just supposed to assist you. So what makes an expectation realistic? Because I said when they spoke about projection, the definition of projection is making a forecast based on the study of trends. And that is when your expectation will be realistic. Your expectations will be realistic when you have appropriate information of the person. When you have appropriate information of the person, you will be able to judge that, oh, this one, it will work with this person. This one, this one will not work. So you'll be able to project appropriately. The second thing is the willingness to work it out. When you have expectation, you just don't go and rest. You do your own part of the deal, while the other person will do theirs. That's when it will end up where you want it to end. And lastly, for your expectation to be objective or to be realistic, understand the vulnerabilities of the person. And that would also help your expectation. You will be able to know that if I leave this person in this environment, it's likely to commit this offense. It's not about whether it's born again or not. So, knowing the vulnerability will also help you to curtail the kind of expectations you will have of them, and also help you to secure them so that they will not fall victims of that negative habit of vulnerability they have. So going forward, both married and single, let's keep our expectations realistic and let's keep it objective. God bless you.